going on? And I'm going to just pass straight over to Stanley. He's a relatively new member, only a few months, but he's fitted in so well. As I say, already he's helped me with my posture. I've had a crick in my neck, and he's like, do this, do this, do this. And I'm like, wow. But also, what I love about him is on his LinkedIn page, he says the only thing that limits us is our imagination. And he wants to be able to support and assist people into transformation for their bodies, for their minds, for their heart set as well. So I'm going to hand over to Stanley, and he's going to share with you his journey to now, to what he's passionate about. Over to you, Stanley.
Thank you, Jill. I want you all to just take a moment and just give Jill a round of applause for what she does, because what she does behind the scenes, we don't get to see. And the energy that she puts into us gives us this snapshot that everything works. And the reason that I bring that up, and the reason that I say that, and I don't do this just to make Jill blush each time that I talk, but the reason that I do that is so that, number one, we can appreciate what we're doing behind the scenes as well, and what our bodies are doing behind the scenes that we don't get to always take like an account for. So before I start, I want to give you the preface. Now, as a brain health coach, I know that drinking caffeine after noon, 12 o'clock, is not good for your brain. I apologize already because you're about to get a double latte right now in the late afternoon. Okay, so just bear with me. My ADD kicks in and I just go on a roll. So just bear with me. All right, so what I want you to do right now, just for a moment, I want you to close your eyes and put your hands down. And I'm going to keep my eyes open. I'm not watching you, but I need to see what I'm saying. And I want you to, just for a moment, take notice of what your knee feels like. Just focus on your knee. And then I want you to focus on your feet. What are your feet actually saying? What are they doing? What is the pulse that's running through it? Feel your toes. If you've got shoes on, it might be a little challenging, but feel your toes, feel the bottom of your foot, feel the heel. Okay, now go ahead and open your eyes. I have a short period of time. And the reason that I did that is because we don't naturally normally go to understanding what it is that our body is doing, what it's feeling. But when we become in tune to it, it's just like the other speakers were talking, and the lessons from hell. Okay, I love that. I love that because pain and transformation in our bodies is a journey, and it is the roadsides along the way that give us the opportunities to get to a destination that we design. And our body, our mind, and our heart and soul is the GPS. And if we listen to the GPS, it will actually take us to a place that we intended to go, but we might not always know the path to get there. So now I've given you kind of a snapshot and the double latte. From an early childhood, I learned the question, and that was, why can't it be better? And there has to be a better way. That was my statement, and that was my question. And my question was always why. My curiosity just ran rampant. And I wanted to know why things worked, why things happen. And I didn't settle in for but because that's how we've always done it. That statement, when I hear it, that's how we've always done it, is like the red flag that says, hey, you're about to meet your adversary because I'm coming in full bore. All right. I'm coming in on both feet, and I want to know the reason. I want to know my foundation. If you have a foundation and you have a house, okay, so you have a foundation, you have a living structure, and you have a roof that covers it. If your foundation is broken, the living structure is going to be compromised. And that's going to compromise the structure that covers it. If your roof leaks, you're not going to be able to live in those quarters, not for very long, if you don't address it. and eventually it will destroy the foundation. So we have to look at transformation as a whole, complete unit. You can't separate. And this is what I do in my postural therapy is and I teach people is, hey, I love you, but I don't care that your shoulder hurts. I want to know why your shoulder hurts. I want to get to the root cause. That is the essence. And Jill shared a little bit about the crick in her neck. How many people, if you're honest, deal with pain at least once a week? You can put a one in the chat. You can put a yes in there. Okay. So do whatever you want to do. You can participate, and you can put a one in the chat. And the reason that we put that one in the chat or that yes is to give other people the permission to say, hey, I'm not alone in this. I experience this. What can I do? And in our meeting earlier today, one of the things is, and I say this all the time, is we don't know what we don't know. And when we're talking about food, you know, Michelle Howe brought up, it's the food that we're eating, and I came back and said, is it really food? Is it really food that we're putting in our mouth? Because if it's not, then this could be causing us the problem that we're having. So this transformation that I'm sharing about is I watched as a young child, and I was the oldest of three. My mom was a foreigner, and she vowed not to raise an American child. I was raised in America, but she didn't want me to be like the other kids. And she knew nothing about ADD, and I have it full bore, and it is my superpower. I have never taken a medicine for it, and you probably can tell that by now. And I don't drink a lot of caffeine. So it's a natural. That's why I say get ready for the double latte. But my curiosity and my desire to understand why people suffer and why people have pain. And my mom had pain for most of her life. And I didn't understand why she couldn't get better in a system that they have so much technology and so much knowledge and so much learning people. Why wasn't she getting better? And then she got cancer and she died 3.5 years later. She bled for 6 months before that. All those things created my path to want to find out why. And understanding that transformation is not a single event, it is a culmination of many. And it is the culmination of gathering with people that are like-minded, that help us, that we are all beggars. And I'm just a beggar that knows where the bread is. And that's what I believe Collaboration Global is. It is one beggar taking another beggar to where the bread is and giving nourishment and food and giving the opportunity to see something that we didn't see before. So as a child, constantly asking why and wanting to know more, as I got older, I got into this whole self-development thing. And it was, I can always learn something more. And what can I learn that I can implement? Knowledge is not power. It is the application of power. It is the application of the knowledge that gives you the power to transform. And if it's too complex, then people won't do it. So when I look at the body as a unit, I say that health is not the absence of pain, it is the absence of limitations. And I called my business when I named it, I didn't even know the full capacity, but it's called 360 Life Without Limits. And it is actually living a life without limits and without limitations. And I don't think that it could have been more orchestrated that I am second in line behind Chris talk earlier. I'm just like, this is so much in alignment and it wasn't planned. When we talk about um, having compassion for yourself, it's how you treat yourself, what you're saying to yourself, all these things, our language in the morning when we get up and we say, oh, today's going to be one of those Mondays. Well, you only got 52 of those in the year. And in your whole life, you might only have 4,000. So I don't know where you're at in life, but how many Mondays do you have left? And if I only had a limited amount, it becomes precious. And this is why gold is precious, but your body is even more precious than gold. So um, when I look at some statistics and I see that chronic pain is a 635 billion with a B industry. It is a market. I have to ask the question, why? The common Western model is give it time, it'll go away. Um, Medicine, hey, we're using the best science to treat pain. And here, take this prescription and let me know in 30 days how it works. So you've got the examination, you've got an imaging, and then you've got a clinical dismissal. Now, how many of you ever been to the doctor? And here again, if you're a doctor, I love you. I love for what you do, and my passion is for you because I know this: your hands are tied. And that I'm hearing this more and more and more. People that love what they do, but they can't do anything more because their hands are tied by a system that's broken, not a person that's broken. And the idea behind transformation is when we start to challenge the narrative. And this is my favorite thing that I say is challenge the narrative. Challenge the question. You know your body better than anybody else does. There's nobody in a white coat, black coat, green coat, yellow coat that knows your body, your mind better than you do. And so if you don't get the answer that you want, keep searching, keep reaching. And so this transformation that I help people in is I say, let's look at the entire makeup. Let's look at the whole system, not just a segment. And it's amazing what we can do. And I'll give you one quick example. I've had people with frozen shoulders. I've had people that had rotator cuff surgery. And before the surgery and after the surgery, they couldn't raise their arm up. And the doctors told them, it may be 9 months. After the surgery, it may be 9 months before you get range of motion. And you may not ever get it back. And they're thinking they're going to get it back. And so I honestly do a couple exercises with people and I look at the body as a unit. I recruit muscles. I help people recruit muscles and free up those shoulders. And they're going, what did you just do? Okay. So Jill gave you a little sample. And for those of you that stayed here, and for those of you that are watching the recording, okay, so one of the things I want you to do is I want you to turn your head to the left. Can I give it away this time, Jill? Is that okay? Okay, so turn your head to the left and turn your head to the right and tell me, is there a less mobility on one side versus the other? Now you can't turn your shoulders, just turn your head. Okay, so there's a little bit of a lack of range of motion. Now let's just incorporate something in our body. Take your index finger and your thumb and bring it to the top of your ear and go all the way around, all the way to your earlobe, massage it, come back up top, come back up top. Yeah. And we're going to do this about 4 or 5 times. Okay. So you're just massaging just that outer rim and you're going, what in the world is this doing? Now, see, what's happening is behind the scene, there's somebody's taking a picture of all of us individually and they're going to post this on social media. No, they're not. Okay. So, all right, I had to get you a little bit, loosen up a little bit, lighten up, okay? All right, one more time, all right? All the way up and all the way down to the earlobe, all the way down to the earlobe. Okay, now roll your shoulders out. Okay, now turn your head to the left and turn your head to the right. Is there a difference? It's amazing, isn't it? No, no difference? You can book a call with me and we'll talk. Okay. So the idea is that if we can recruit other areas of our body that address other areas of our body, then we can have a transformation physically. Now, if we have physical transformation, guess what else happens? We have a mental transformation. And when we have a mental transformation, we have a spiritual transformation because we are a spiritual being having a human experience. And when what we saw Chris in the wheelchair and we see him now, there is a night and day transformation that took place. And so pain is not our enemy. Pain is actually our promoter. It says, let's ask a better question. It is the body's language or the spirit's language that says, is there something more? Is there something better? What is out of place? And if I can address it, and if I can answer that question, and it's not just a simple question because everybody is unique and designed individually. So when I bring about transformation physically, I create a protocol that is just specifically designed for a person. It is unique, it's designed. You can't do this group. And this is what I do. And transformation um, is our capacity, it is within our power to create. So I just want to, I don't know how much more time I have, but you tell me. Zero. I have zero. Okay. So the coffee has ended.
Thank you, Stanley. Thank you so much. And can I just say, this isn't coffee, this is lemon and ginger tea. But yeah, I love that. The 360-degree life without limits. How cool is that? Just considering that if your life had no limits, physical, emotional, spiritual limits, what could you achieve with the help of this guy here? It could be phenomenal. So thank you for that, Stanley. I really appreciate that whole session. It just, yeah, it just your energy is in, we should bottle that, and I'll have a sip of that every day to keep me going. That's just amazing. Thank you. Right.